Stephen Graham is a local Plymouth artist with a unique story to share, his uncle's story. Stephen's uncle, Richard Graham, was a closet artist from the Boston area. Richard had no art school education or training, only an incredible passion and imagination. Richard passed away in the 1990s, but left over 3,000 pieces of work hidden in his Cambridge home. Stephen, who was mentored by his great-uncle and is the sole advocate for his uncle's collection. The Massachusetts Art Institute came across Richard's work through Stephen and is purchasing pieces to use as teaching tools in their classes and to display in their galleries. PCN spoke with Stephen about the collection, his family, and the endless journey of Richard Graham art.
Well, what inspired my art was my uncle. You know, just years and years of it, you know. Going down the hall and seeing the man there in the red hat. All my life, growing up, I'd see some of his pictures all over the place, you know. There was a lot of his work, you know, like the George Washington hand woodcuts and things like that were around the house that were decorative. Because most of you have seen some of his work, the more abstract. My family was understandable, but they said, I don't want that stuff on the, you know, on the walls. In order to make him have a fair shot at what the art world is, I need to have all his work in one spot. And then perhaps someone might look it over and find some merit in it. He lived on Dudley Street in Cambridge. I worked at a place called Brown and Wales Steel. It's a big steel mill that went under. And I would go over there on my bicycle as a teenager, pick up his notes, and then go up in the Harvard Square at Huntington Avenue. And there would be some art stores there, I forget the names. And I'd go in there with his list and stuff like that, which I couldn't pronounce half the things on it. Pick up this brush, pick up that, pick up this, and then I'd say, I'll see you back at Nana's and stuff. So I got to learn how to pronounce things, you know, phthalo-cyanide blue and things like that, alizarin crimson, so that when I would go and get my own stuff, I'd know what it was. I was like his, what would you say, protege or something, like I'd come back up there or something, and he'd pile up a bunch of books and put an easel on it, and he'd tell me what to paint and stuff. Not that I knew what I was doing. Just say, I like cadmium yellow, Steve. Put some cadmium yellow on that. Don't worry about the lines, you know. He'd say, Stephen, put the Beatles away. The classical music will take you further in life than any of that rock and roll stuff. You know, we'd just sit up there talking in the rain and all that, and today, even even later tonight, I'll be listening to 13th century Italian lute music. But I do because of him. It reminds me of him. Reminds me of that house, that classical in the house. Checker game. The guy in the upper right-hand corner is my great uncle. That's Bill. And I'm sure these are some of the guys that were hung out in the corner with my Uncle Robert. And you can see them cheating. He's grabbing a piece over here. You know what I mean? While he's looking at this guy, he's slipping a few pieces away, and this guy's unconscious, you know. But I think that's sort of a Van Gogh thing, sort of a Van Gogh type thing, but that was done for my uncle for a Christmas present. At the steel mills, they used to use cats to mouse the place, you know, with and he'd take me inside there and say, you don't want to take one of these cats home? Your mother will kill you. So I just think Richard brought that up there just out of a comedy. Did that, something for my grandmother, and say, hey, Grace, here's another cat for you. You know, he had an uncanny ability of grabbing somebody in his face. My grandmother used to say, no one does eyes like Richard. No one. For instance, in this boy, he's not too concerned with the background, but he is with those eyes. He'll freeze you right. I think he'd stop you right in your tracks there if you look at those eyes. But he doesn't seem to be too concerned with the rest of it. He catches your face, and I think that if that boy isn't looking right at you. This was done in '93, and he was dead, let's see, not too long after that. This is the north end. You can see the sort of the structure of Boston. And you can see way down the end there, at the end of the train, that the sky's on fire. And he's hoping that she can on a train to go to hell with these guys, you know. You want to join her? There's a seat for you to get in. The way my father was really an art critic. But when he saw that, he said, are you kidding me? what the hell kind of painting is that? I said, a good one. If you're going to be an artist or something, I think you got to think about it here and here. And I think you got to really want it, you know. The hell with Google. I mean, this stuff comes all the way up from the cave boys, you know what I mean? So draw, paint, grab something, draw on a wall, draw on your face, but draw. I think, you know, even guilty myself, where you can think too much. And like Richard said, don't think. The hell with it. The hell with the lines. Draw, paint.